Hey guys, Aaron here, hope you're doing well. Now if you haven't already heard, Sega announced some pretty major news this week. We're going to be getting a new Streets of Rage game. Yeah, where did that come from? Yeah, I honestly was not expecting this. Over the years, I mean it's been over 20 years since the last Streets of Rage game. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it. There's been over the years, there's been teases that we were going to get a new Streets of Rage. A couple of times actually, nothing ever happens, and yeah, finally it seems to be actually happening. Now when Streets of Rage come out, you had the first 3 games. It was a crowded market. You had really great side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Final Fight, you had Turtles Arcade, Simpsons Arcade, plenty of other ones as well, but Streets of Rage 2 in particular, one of my favourite games of all time. And yeah, it's unfortunate that by the time you got stuff like Street Fighter 2, you had Mortal Kombat coming out, it kind of killed off the side-scrolling beat-em-up market. You did get Streets of Rage 3 come out, but it was kind of a bit of a step backwards in my opinion compared to the second game. So it is great news that finally Sega have gone back to their back catalogue, chosen to make a new game in the Streets of Rage franchise. And well, the main thing is they released a trailer. Now the trailer is quite short. I'm going to try and play it in the background. Yeah, it's less than a minute long. So what do we get from this trailer? Not really much. So most of it is like an animated story or cutscenes, potentially from the game itself. But unfortunately there's only a few seconds of gameplay. And in those few seconds there's not really too much to look at, except you get an idea of what the new graphics are going to look like. So gone are the old school pixel graphics, and we get this new stylized cartoony graphics. I must admit, from the only few seconds we've seen of the gameplay, I do find it a bit hard to appreciate the new look, mainly because to me I associate the Streets of Rage games with the old 16-bit Sega Mega Drive / Genesis look. So yeah, I'm not 100% convinced on that, but yeah, it's 20 years in the future. I guess things need to move on. Plus there's a lot of pixel looking games out there as it is, so maybe Sega have done this to just distance itself slightly from those type of games. So yeah, overall I'm on a bit on a fence post about it. I honestly need to see more footage, Sega. So I really do hope that we get another trailer, maybe a gameplay trailer at some point soon. That would really go down well. Now, from what we can see in this trailer, you can play as Blaze and Axel. Now, these were both characters that were in the originals. And what is kind of weird to see though is Blaze, she kind of appears pretty much the same as she was in the second game at least. Whereas Axel, while he was a very similar age to Blaze, he seems to have been aged somewhat, so I'm not really quite sure what's going on there. Maybe something to do with time travel, who knows. But yeah, it'll be good to know why that's happened. But overall, I really do hope they change the game up a bit. Now, because there was never a Streets of Rage 4, I obviously wanted to play some of the fan-made creations. There's quite a few out there to be fair, but one of my favourites is Streets of Rage Remake. Now, what this game did was created a new game in the style of the first 3, but it gave you extra characters to play as. One of the main things with this game though was the fact that it had branching paths, so you could get quite a lot of replayability out of this game. It was quite long as well. So once you completed it, you could go back, do a different path. There was many more levels than the original games. Streets of Rage 2 in particular only had 10 stages, and to get through that it took about 1 to 2 hours on normal difficulty. Yeah, not really too long. It was replayable because of the co-op mode for me. It was a really fun game to play through, and that is something that I'm looking forward to with the new one, the co-op mode. It would be amazing if Sega could get a 4-player mode in. I won't lie, that's something I would really like to see, especially if it had like an online mode as well. But the branching path idea I really want to see. Maybe that will improve the storyline as well, because the old Streets of Rage games, did anyone really follow the story? Not really. I certainly didn't. It was pretty much every game had a big baddie at the end, big boss, which you just needed to fight a bunch of end of level bosses and then get to the end of the game. Now the first game did something different, if I remember. It allowed you to choose whether to take down the boss or become a baddie yourself. I kind of like that. The other games dropped that. So yeah, maybe with this branching path system it could enable quite a lot more to happen throughout it, and yeah, make the game a lot longer as well. Now, one of the biggest deal breakers for me is the music. Now, anyone who has played the Streets of Rage games, especially number 2, knows what I'm going to be talking about. It just really suited the game so well. Had one of the best soundtracks, I would say, from the 16-bit area. So I really hope it kind of retains that sound. Now, Yuzo Koshiro, I hope, comes back as well, because without him, I think this won't be quite the same game. Nothing's been said if he'll be back creating music for it. I really hope so, because a lot of people will be very disappointed if he doesn't do that. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I really want to hear sooner rather than later. When's the game going to be out? That as well. It could be a 2018 release. We've still got a few months left, but it's looking likely it'll be 2019. And I'm sure it's going to be a multi-platform release as well. Nintendo Switch, I'm sure, won't have any issues running this. And I'm sure it's going to come out on the PS4 and Xbox and PC. Who knows, maybe even mobile as well, because obviously that's where a lot of the money's made. As much as I would prefer Sega keep it console gaming only. In any case, what did you think? Were you quite surprised with this announcement? Are you a bit unsure with the graphics like I am? Definitely leave me some comments down below. If you want to see more content like this in the future as well, it'd be great if you could sub to the channel and maybe give a video one of those. Thanks for watching. See you again.